Okay, so this week's webinar is 15 networking tips for your storage hunting business. Okay, so tip 1 is 2 ears, 1 mouth. So basically, this just refers to the fact that if you're new to auctions, that you should just start out by observing everybody. Before you start bidding, before you start building relationships, you want to know who are the heavy hitters, what other items people like to bid on, who likes to bid on what, and so on. And that just gives you a better understanding of where they're coming from as buyers, what their goals are, what's important to them, and so on. Because bidders will appreciate you more if you know what you're talking about and you know your stuff and you're boned up on your knowledge before you start bidding. And then once you do know what you're talking about, that's going to allow you to easier build relationships. Okay, so the next tip here is to thine own self be true. So all this research is going to allow you to figure out as well what you want and what you need before you dive into the business, and really let you know what your interests are in terms of what items you find in the lockers. If you want to have a certain niche that you're excited about, for example, if that's antique furniture or if it's guns or hunting equipment or things like that. In some states it's legal to have those items in the lockers, or if it's antique dolls, or the list goes on and on. But it's good for you to get acquainted with the auction process, for you to know exactly what you want to buy and what your purchase interests are. Okay, we just got a chat from somebody saying the screen is not changing. Okay, can you see my screen okay now? You should see a slide that says not what can be done. Okay, great, thank you. All right, everybody, I'm sorry about that. The third item here is ask not what can be done for you, but what you can do for your fellow auction hunter. So when you're just getting started, you have to work to build a positive reputation and credibility, and that's your goal and that's your purpose. So once that good reputation starts to precede you and people know who you are, and that you'll have an easier time making friends in the industry and, more importantly, making a living. So your goal when you start attending auctions is to help other auction hunters, and in return they more than likely usually will repay the favor. So you may already own a store or have an online shop, but you've just started auctions, and maybe you're just looking for a way to replenish your merchandise. So offer to sell items whenever you can from other buyers. For example, if they're having a hard time finding somebody who wants a specific item, if that can go in your store and you can allow them to make a little money pretty easily, that's then later on down the road when you have something to sell, they can help you and return the favor. And also, when your business is in its infancy, even if you don't have an online shop or anything like that, if you don't have those options, you still have interest in things that you like, and you know people who do like those things as well. So even if you just buy an item from somebody because you like it and you want it, that's okay. And then they might return the favor in kind later on and help you sell an item. Okay, the next tip is it's all about who you know. So going back to the listen and learn step, you have to find the right people for your network. And it isn't always about you personally knowing the most people, because you're a person with a busy life and it's hard to network. It's hard to know tons and tons of people right away. But it's about finding the best people for your needs, who you can sell to the easiest, and then utilizing their networks and who they know to grow your own business without as much legwork on your part up front. So you can see here in the graphic, there's one little person, and that's a little pink person, and they know that person in the center, and then that person knows 25 other people. That's the way it should be, and that will help your business grow. The next item is flattery will get you everywhere. So just remember to be friendly and polite and congratulatory of other people's wins, and show interest on the units that they buy. This can earn you their favor, and then will then allow you to start building that relationship, where you can potentially even be mentored by somebody and learn their tricks of the trade and all the knowledge they have to offer. And then also it's important to recognize, just be yourself, because that's the best possible version of yourself, though. You just want to make sure that you're the best possible version of you when you're meeting somebody new. Okay, so as you can see, everybody's always in a hurry because nobody wants to be late and everybody has a lot on their plates, and especially if they're small business owners, independent business owners. So it's important to just quickly, when you get started meeting people, if you're going to ask them for something, be specific and cut to the chase. Quantify what you need, how much time it will take them, because they're busy just like you, and so depending on what you're trying to accomplish, that might be a specific piece of advice you want to get from them or a specific sale you're trying to make. Whatever the case is, just be concise and quick, and don't, spend a whole lot of time, don't spend an hour explaining one point of information that you want from them. The next thing is be gracious no matter what, and so you can see the slide is the raising of the white flag there. If you ask somebody for help, just be gracious if they turn you down. That's okay. It's okay if they don't have the time to do it. They might know somebody else who does, or they might be able to help you out later. But if you're not gracious in that moment, and if you don't say, okay, thanks, I understand, maybe in a couple months we can talk again, they might not want to work with you in a couple months again if you aren't as gracious. So just remember to be gracious no matter what, because some auction attendees choose to keep their business contacts and their sales and all that information close to the vest. So just recognize that you can ask, but that doesn't mean that somebody is always going to be willing to help you. Arrive early to auctions. This allows you time before the auction to start to get to know your fellow competition. And that's pretty straightforward, I think. That just allows you time to talk and get to know them a little better on a personal level. The next item, step number 9, is remember to stay connected and to follow up with and connect with the other buyers that you meet at auctions. Keep them in your wheelhouse, or if you have a Rolodex, keep them in your phone contacts. Just remember to every so often to contact them, see how they're doing, even if it's just a social call. That keeps you in the forefront of their mind a little bit, because people do business with people that they like and have ongoing relationships with. And in today's world, it's easier than ever. You can see the phone. You can have your entire life in your phone. I, just a couple years ago, didn't even have a smartphone, and now I cannot imagine my life without my phone. It's pretty serious problem. So, even if you don't add somebody to your phone, you can add them on Facebook or follow them on a social media site like Twitter, or just shoot them an email and just get that relationship ball rolling, and then just continue to do those types of things throughout the relationship. The next item is number 10, don't be an overly chatty Cathy. So this goes back to sort of an earlier step where I said be concise and be clear. But just, as a reminder, don't hijack the entire conversation or the relationship, but let people know, but be clear about who you are, what your needs are, and your love for auction hunting, because that's something that everybody there has in common. So just be clear, but don't be overly up front, and don't spend a huge amount of time, especially at that first meeting, getting to know somebody, because usually people are there to win an auction and they have to clean out the units, and that's a whole long process, as everybody knows who attends auctions. So the day of might not be the best time to strike up an hour-long conversation, but you can then meet them, exchange numbers, and then maybe later have that conversation over coffee or over the phone or whatever works for both of your schedules. The next item here is pay it forward. So as a newbie, you need to help build your contacts and knowledge base. You needed that help. So if you're then more seasoned down the line, don't forget to pay it forward. So in step 7, I said be gracious, because you might be turned down. And so if you are turned down, you'll remember that it's not very much fun. And so pay it forward. Help somebody who's newbie. They're not. A new guy's not going to be a threat to your business right away, so it's not going to hurt you to occasionally throw them a bone in the form of a sales lead or an auction tip or trick. That's helpful to. I'm sorry, did somebody say something? I guess not. I'm sorry. So then step 12 is treat others as you want to be treated. And that's the next one. So you can see here on the slide, it's call me back. It's a nice little post-it note. You get some of those sometimes if you have been lax about calling somebody back. So just treat them as you want to be treated. If they call you about something, return the call as soon as you can. And all the various sales information, it should be an exchange, and you should treat them like you want to be treated by them, and that's going to help your business down the line. The next is to come prepared in terms of your business. So that means, come prepared with business cards if you have those, or if you don't have them, take a few minutes you can do a business card in even like a Word document with your name, your contact information. It really can be that simple. And then you just print them, and you can use scissors or paper cutter and just, make a couple just so that you have them on hand at the auctions. Also, just, treat it as a business. So shake hands, look people in the eye when you're introducing yourself, and just, make it clear that you're in this for the business of it all. And I think that that's going to gain respect from your fellow auction hunters who might be able to help you with sales and network connections. And then 14 actually, is to be social, to treat your business as a business, but do remember that people like working with people that they like. So this is important. Our guy here, he's throwing a barbecue for all his auction friends. So you might not throw a barbecue right away, but just things like this that you can, everything doesn't have to be about the auction, and it is really true in business that a lot of times people work with who they like and who they get along with and who they want to see every day and talk to every day. That's just sort of rules of attraction and human nature, I think. So it's important to sort of remember to keep it business-like, but at the same time, it can be a little social, and that will probably help your business. And then finally, set goals for yourself and stick to them. So if you go to an auction, and so SMART goals are things that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So, if it's your first auction, maybe your goal for the day is to just watch 3 auctions take place. And if you have to drive to a couple of different facilities to do that, then you do that. If your goal for the day is measurable, so you want it, so that's specific and measurable, but so if it's achievable, maybe something like you want to get 1 contact on that day. That's a realistic, especially if you're just getting started, that's a realistic goal, 1 new contact. And then make sure you set that. And even if you have to talk to a lot of different people to get that 1 new contact, it's going to be worth it to your business. So just set those goals, try and stick to them as best as you can. And again, if you're new, people might be a little close vested. They want to keep all their secrets. So just remember to keep going and to try and keep setting those goals continuously. So that is our presentation today. The coupon code for today is Networking Web 20. And that's on the screen right now. And use this coupon code at checkout to receive 20% off your first state subscription or an additional state subscription. Also, if you want even more in-depth information from the pros, you can sign up for the Pro Training Series. You're just going to want to use the link on the screen, https://sj11.infusionsoft.com/go/SAL/ I know that's wordy. Everybody at the webinars, I think, typically gets emails from us on a weekly basis, so you should have that link in your email, and you can click on that to sign up. You're going to want to use the coupon code auction list on the checkout screen, and this is going to give you an automatic 50% scholarship reduction in your price. So this is a great information from Dan and Laura Dotson, Nabila, Hannah, Troy Harton, people that you've seen on TV, people that are reputable, people that really know how to help you make money from the jump. So, you can spend. Is the coupon code case sensitive? Somebody asked. No, it is. Yes, it is, I believe. Auction list is all under, lowercase. So it's great information, and it's really educational, and I've watched all of them. I spent a couple of days powering through them. They're really entertaining, they're well produced, they're really good, and they really give you a lot of information that if you're new, you're not always going to know right off the bat. So this is saving you time so that you don't have to go through as much of a formal education process. This does it for you, and it really helps you start making money almost right away. Also, just a couple more bits of information here. As a Terapeak user, this is another program that we've partnered with. You have access to unique marketplace intelligence to determine the best-selling items on eBay and what is selling on Amazon.com and how to increase your online business opportunities. So if you're a reseller, that's a really great tool to be able to use because it lets you know what's what's most popular and what you should be looking for at auctions and what you should sell. And they also evaluate your pricing and sourcing strategies, get insights on products and buyer behavior, and offer your customers more ways to reach you. And then also Cabbage. This is Cabbage.com provides working capital in both the United States and the UK. Whereas traditional banking institutions take weeks to decide on in advance, Cabbage can